Hello, everyone. My name is Marian with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Good evening. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real tonight. And we are back. Cousin, say hi to the good folks out there.
Hello.
Y'all, guess what? I am traveling right now, right? Yeah, but anyway, we got some responses back, cousin. What we've been talking about. For those of you that missed us, again, this is DTM Real Talk. We're just keeping it real. And we invite you, if you have a story, to share it, because it just might enlighten somebody, help somebody, or identify with somebody. So the past 5 weeks, we have been talking about the power of forgiveness and the devastating effects of unforgiveness, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And some of the things that we learned, cuz tell the good folks some of the things that we learned for those that missed it, and they can go back and review it.
Well, we learned some responses that we do, at least we have, for unforgiveness. Some triggers, I guess you would call them. So if you feel you've stress eat, which was major for me, then if you were throwing shade, or something occurs and it makes you have a response, a real negative response to it, those may be some signs of unforgiveness.
Right.
And we also learned the devastating effects of unforgiveness.
Yes.
I believe, you said you may have a question as it relates to that. Unforgiveness can be associated with health problems.
Right. That was a biggie for us last week, because somebody asked me if unforgiveness had anything to do with depression. And the answer is absolutely yes, it could.
Yes.
Now, it's not all the time that it is, but it could.
Right.
It could. And I read a quote I wanted to share with you guys. It was from Dr. King. And it says, forgiveness is not an occasional act, but it's a consistent attitude.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you might need to say that again.
Yes.
You might need to say that again.
Yes. Consistent is not an occasional act, but it is a consistent attitude. I thought that was so powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was so powerful. And that was a quote from Dr. King. And I always put it, forgiveness is an intentional decision, which is basically the same thing, but I like his better. It's not occasional. So what that's simply saying is that it's going to happen. Nobody is going to be exempt from experiencing a blight of unforgiveness in their lifetime. Yes. So yeah, let's talk about that sickness thing, cousin.
Yeah. So is it so, or can you give us some solid evidence that unforgiveness is associated with health problems, physical health problems?
I think I can. I think I gave y'all my story, but I won't go into that again. For those of you that missed it, go to the last one and the last clip, and I talked about my story, how unforgiveness just bogged me down, and it actually resulted in physical illness. But chronic anger puts you in a fight mode. Am I correct? Okay. If you're mad with somebody, you're really, really mad. You're ready to blow up.
Right.
So it puts you in a fight mode. And I looked this up really, and it kind of results in an increased heart rate, because if you're mad or you're angry, you're getting ready, you want to fight, that's going to increase your heart rate. And that actually affects your blood pressure.
Wow.
Yes. your heart rate's beating fast, your blood pressure's going up. What is that developing? That's developing something. And if you do that consistently, it can affect your immune system.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
that's right. That is
Yeah.
right. That is
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that will increase your chances of having a heart attack because of the heart rate, the
Yeah.
blood pressure dealing with the brain, and diabetes and all those other conditions. So yeah, definitely unforgiveness can be, I didn't say always is, can be a result, at least illnesses can be a result of unforgiveness residing inside of you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and if you think about it, if I had, okay, and another thing I want us to talk about, the trauma that we've experienced, and we know about physical trauma, if you have an accident, but something happens to your body.
Right.
But if you have an emotional or psychological trauma, you carry that around with you.
Absolutely.
And then you're thinking about it, you're rolling it over, you're meditating on it, and therefore you're in a constant state of that trauma. So you've got that fight, I guess, mentality, or whatever your physical body's going through.
Yeah.
you know um and that made me think, when we talk about trauma, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you the other day, when we've experienced an emotional trauma, I guess if you could call it that, um you don't want to say, well, you're going to automatically enter into a state of unforgiveness. But I was wondering if you experienced, whether it's divorce or whether it is the breakdown of a major relationship, or it was some type of mental or emotional abuse. Um, you don't want to say, well, automatically you're going to be in an unforgiving state, but there's a possibility that you will.
Yes.
I liken it to, for example, if a person has a major car accident, and they walk away because your adrenaline is going up, and you don't feel the effects of that until the next day or so.
Right.
But you won't know that you've been affected by it until you enter another situation that will cause you to have to maybe use that muscle or something, and you realize, ouch, that hurts. I'm not able to use that,
Got you.
and it's a result of that accident.
Of that accident, that trauma.
Well,
I got
and same it is, I believe, with trauma as it relates to emotional trauma. Um, you're going to, well, hey, if someone has hurt you that deeply, you're going to come into a situation, I believe, that you may say, well, why am I responding this way? Why am I doing this? And you have to look at it. And so what I would, just like after you finish that accident, you go to what is called physical therapy.
you.
We
Yes.
do some emotional physical therapy.
I agree with you. That you know what? The funny part about that though is this. A lot of times, and I reference to something that just happened. A lot of times, this is real. A friend of mine just had an accident, and it was really a devastating accident. She actually could have ended up in a swamp, but it was a little away
Wow.
from the swamp. That was off I-2
Okay.
Plus. Okay, this is real. And praise God, they didn't die. It was her and her two kids, and they were adults, but they ended up over the bridge.
Wow.
Yes, in the woods.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. And the Lord was very merciful to them. So they were banged up pretty bad, obviously, off the 10 into the woods.
Yes.
So anyway, I think she told me, if I got it correct, but that they didn't go exactly immediately to the hospital.
Okay.
To somewhere else, and then somebody else picked them up and they ended up going to the hospital. Here's what I'm saying. When I had my accident, they had to cut me out of the car. That was
Wow.
last year, June 17th.
Yes.
I went to the hospital immediately.
Yes.
And I actually didn't feel too much pain immediately. Now, my friend, she felt pain immediately. And then when she got
Okay.
home, immediately. And then they went to the doctor. Now,
Right.
Had that been me, I would have gone to the doctor from the sight.
Yes, 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 yes.
Now, I'm trying to contrast that to what you were saying. Later on, I felt more and more pain in areas that I didn't feel pain in at the time of the
Yeah.
accident. I don't know what she felt, but I know she's in a lot of pain right now. So, in contrast, both of us were in an accident. I went immediately and felt pain later on that I didn't feel immediately.
Yes.
She didn't go immediately and felt pain. So, what I'm trying to say is it's always good when trauma takes place,
Yes.
you feel it or not, is to get therapy.
Okay. Well, tell us. Well, since you mentioned the therapy, what is, for example, I just went through maybe a divorce. I feel my employer unjustly fired me after just hiring somebody else, or I'm having an issue with a family member, and then what type of therapy is there to help me maybe not enter into unforgiveness?
There are a lot of professionals out there, because I am not that professional
Okay.
person that an individual would medically professional, I should say.
Right.
I have my own experiences and the things that I have tunneled through, which is what WPT is more about. And I
Okay.
contrast those things, and I relate those things, or what's the word I'm looking for, are track the area, the issues in my life with God's
Okay.
word, because I am a Christian. So I track that with that. I try to find them in the word of God. I try to find safe places. We're talking about therapy. I look for safe places, people that I trust, that I know will take my pain and my hurt as very valuable, and
Mm-hmm.
help me to be able to decipher through what could cause me later devastation.
Right. Okay.
I guess to answer your question, professional help is very good.
Yes.
I highly recommend it. Back in our days, you getting therapy or going to see a psychiatrist, that was taboo. It was something wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yes.
counsel, it's therapy. The Bible speaks of it. In the multitude of counselors, that's what it's.
Okay. Right.
There's safety or there's protection. So I would tell anybody out there that's going through what looks like a trauma, a traumatic what looks like a traumatic event in your life, or what you suspect will be, I would find a safe place, a safe
Right.
person that you would talk to, but be ready to adhere to whatever it is they have to tell you that will hurt you. It's like going to the doctor. Why would I go to the doctor if I'm not going to do what he's saying?
That's right. That's right. That's major. Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
major. Why would I even go to the doctor? And I have people to come to me, and you know this. I have people come to me because I can give them advice that will help them because of the knowledge that I have acquired,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the experiences that I've gone through,
Right.
and and I know what I tell them will work. But I have folks that have come in my life, cousin, and ask me about a situation, like the old folks say, a situation.
Uh-huh.
They need help. And I
Right.
have
Right.
the answer. I have the answer.
Yeah.
And they will ask me or tell me about their circumstance and then give me the answer. I'm like, why are you wasting my time coming to me?
Oh, Lordy.
And,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
answer they will give me is only
Uh-huh.
what they're feeling at the time that they want to do. It's not the answer
Yes.
that's going to help them with this
Yeah.
traumatic event that has happened in their lives.
Right. Right.
So this whole thing, it goes back to of
Right.
the steps of reaching that reaching freedom through forgiveness. It goes to discovery. It goes right back,
Yeah.
it goes right back to it. We can't get away from it, and acknowledging what you see, and see the therapist or the safe place or the friend or the accountability partner. They are going to help you to discover why that happened, or why you
Right.
responded the way you respond.
Right. Right.
And hopefully you will acknowledge what you see.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. It's a sad thing when a person doesn't take responsibility for their own action. It's really
Right.
pitiful
Yeah.
because that
Right.
person is
Right.
in denial of truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I myself realized, and this, and I say that because, excuse me, something happened to me, and it was church hurt, so to speak. No, the preacher ain't do me nothing, whatever the case. He wasn't the pastor. Well, anyway, I was in a position, and I was seeking some help to do what I needed to do from these people. Well, for whatever reason, they were never available, and this, like I said, this was over 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, I've gone and I see since left. Now the people they're not only available, but they've taken center stage. And that was and always plagued me. And I always wondered why, whatever. Well, it was not until maybe a week or so ago that I realized how wounded I was, how unforgiving I'd been, and how much bitterness I had when I had begun to say things and speak things on people who weren't even there or had anything to do with it.
Yeah. Remember that was one of the signs. Blaming.
That's right.
That's one of the signs. When you blame people, those folks don't have anything to do with your hurt. But
that's right.
You blame them because of your hurt, and they're clueless.
And I'm saying to myself, and again, this happened, talking to you, safe place, acknowledging, being able to see it and discovering it. I said to myself, wow, that comment really made me see I have unforgiveness.
Yeah.
I'm bitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that thing spews out on innocent people if
Yes.
you don't wake it up. Innocent
Yes.
people get it, who have no part, And
Right.
I said to myself, oh my God, I have to deal with that.
Right. Exactly. So look, that brings us to the quote that Dr. King said that I shared with you guys. It's true. And we got to sign off because we've got some things to do. But the quote says, forgiveness is not an occasional act, y'all. It's
right.
a constant attitude. So therefore, we must be consistently doing self-examinations on our own selves.
Right.
It's a daily thing. You have to do a self-examination on yourself. You said that was 10 years ago. I shared with you all about the clothes thing with me. That was 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Right.
And it was a discovery. So you have to be consistently examining yourself that you might walk in freedom.
Yes.
That you might walk in freedom.
Walk in freedom.
Areas of our lives that we may not be free in. We may be free in some areas and bound in another area. But you know that until that button is pushed, like with you.
That's right.
The button was pushed. You're like, whoa, where that came from? Why I feel like that?
Exactly.
And you traced it back to 10 years ago.
Yes.
This is so cool, y'all. Well, this is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real. And if you got a story or a discovery that you found in yourself, reach out to us. And we'll share that with the world. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just doing what, cousin?
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.